Hi there, this is Steve Kimes. I am the prestigious winner of the Jerry Garcia Lookalike Contest among Mennonite pastors for 10 years running. And I'm here to tell you about why Christians are wrong about hell. So, hell is a pretty much Christian concept. In the Hebrew scriptures, it talks about that's what some people call the Old Testament. It talks about punishment of the wicked, but it describes that punishment in strictly physical terms. Christians point to Jesus and the book of Revelation, who speak of the eternal fire and eternal punishment. The basic idea of hell is this: if you live before God, you are safe from judgment. But if you screw up royally in your life, then you spend eternity being tortured for your screw ups. And this is the justice of God. Many have pointed out some difficulties with this concept. So, can this really be called justice? Let's take a pretty typical screw up. Let's say you sleep with your boyfriend before marriage. Your body is filled with sexual desire, and it's a natural human thing to want to have sex. But God says you need to wait for marriage. So you screwed up. Because of this error, even though you have no other error, you still screwed up, which means even if you've never screwed up in any other way, you will still be tortured for eternity for this one mess up, no matter how natural it seemed at the time. And Christians call this exchange of a single sin for an eternity of torture justice. This crazy way of thinking isn't why Christianity is wrong. It's just a description of how certain Christians think. The reason that they're wrong is because they actually don't understand God. The most common description of God in the Bible is this one: compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, and full of merciful faithfulness, forgiving to thousands of generations. In summary, God is love. He isn't a judging God who punishes people because they look the wrong way. Rather, he is a kind father who leads people in the right way and is offering forgiveness for their sins. Jesus said that he didn't come on earth to punish people, but to show them how to love. This doesn't mean that the Bible doesn't talk about God as judgmental. He's got plenty of room to judge people. But it's interesting that the kinds of people that Jesus says will be condemned, those who judge others. The condemned people are the ones who are going to judge others. So those who live out lives separated from love. Those who take innocent lives, who don't know much better, and condemn them to such degree that they will fall away from love. God is love, and God relates to people who show mercy. And those who condemn and don't forgive and hate are the people who God will judge. There's one other group that Jesus said specifically will be judged, and that's hypocrites. A hypocrite, according to Jesus, isn't someone who just says one thing and does another. A hypocrite is specifically a person who talks about God and God's mercy, but lives out hate and condemnation. It seems that Jesus, when he talks about hell, is actually talking about a place for a lot of Christians. Maybe not all Christians, but specifically the kind of Christians who talk about a God of love, but condemn people for not being like them. Seems that the people who talk most about hell are the people whom hell is being prepared for. All right, talk to you next time. Thanks.